Hello. So, I was on the same team as Jaden, and just like him, I was blessed to be able to go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to help out with the victims of the flood. And, just like he said, I don't think he put this in there, but our homeowners had a foot of water in his house. And that sounds bad as it is, but then you have to remember his house is not, flat on the ground. You have to walk up steps to get into it. So he had waist-high water on an elevated house. Now, for those of you who are not that good with math, that is enough to cover a truck. That could put, your truck or your average car underwater. So we were able to go in there and we put in the baseboards and we got to prime and paint. And I learned how to caulk, and I learned that I don't ever want to caulk again. Something else I learned is in Louisiana, everything seems to be spicy when it comes to food. I mean, I'm not kidding, but I think Frank mentioned that in September we got to go, just for a quick in and out, a weekend trip, and we got to work on a woman's house, and we left her house in ruins. I mean, she had 9 inches of water. And this was about 6 weeks after the flood, and no one had touched her home. So we were her first crew. And so she had, sheetrock that had mold in it. And she had to live in this house because she didn't have anywhere else to go. Now, I'm sure that the majority of you, after church, will go home and, get in your comfy chair and watch TV and, have a meal. Well, can you imagine having to go home and live in a home that has been flooded and it's got mold, asbestos, and all the other crud inside of it for 6 weeks before a team could come help you? Imagine what that does to your health. She didn't even have furniture to sleep on. She had to sleep on an air mattress. And so we left her house with, from 9 inches down on the sheetrock, it was gone because we had to tear it all out. All the furniture had to be gone. All her, tables, chairs, her kitchen, cabinets, sink, dishwasher, everything gone. And so when I left Baton Rouge, I didn't think that I would ever see her again. And, Frank mentioned the Hope Community Baptist Church, the Methodist, excuse me. But apparently, every week in Baton Rouge, they have a shrimp boil. And so they invite all their homeowners, to come by and, sit and they worship and they eat, shrimp. And these things are like that long. I mean, they're good shrimp. And so we walked in, and I'll admit I was pretty tired. I wasn't very excited about going. And we made it in, and I look over, and Miss Terry's standing here, and she went on the, September trip, and she helped us on this woman's house. And I grabbed Miss Terry, and I pointed, and I said, "That's her." And I said, "That's the woman we helped." And she goes, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I'm sure." And I went over there, and sure enough, that was her. And it really hit me hard because there was still a lot that had to be done. She didn't have floors in her home. Since August, she's not had floors. Concrete, that's what she had. And so, thankfully, though, everything was able to, the sheetrock was put back in. She got, new furniture. I'm sorry. But we went to her house, and we got to see, the progress that had made, and it was great. She had sheetrock, she had furniture, and it was something. And so, if I could take one thing away from this trip, we're blessed. Our church in general is blessed, and I thank God every day for that. Thank you.